In this episode, we discuss sensitive material that may be triggering for some, so please skip if needed. My intention here is not to place the blame on women for being assaulted or any other violation. A person who commits a violation is responsible for their actions, or should be. However, them taking responsibility for their actions occurs after the fact. So you want to try and make preemptive choices that will possibly protect you before a bad situation goes down. Welcome to the channel where we discuss young relationships and choices. An assault can happen at any time and any place, and it is not your fault. Regardless of how much you may try to avoid a bad situation, sometimes your caution cannot outwit a determined perpetrator. Anyone is subject to being fooled. It's not always easy to spot a wolf. Date rape. This is when you know the guy and trust being in his company. According to the National Network RAINN, 1 out of 6 women in America is a victim of an attempted or complete rape. Let's try to decrease the risk. When you know you don't want to be intimate with a guy, it would be wise to avoid alone time. It doesn't take much for some guys to think that you want to have sex with him. Some guys don't know how to practice self-control. And some guys still think no means yes just because you're alone with him. Avoid going over to a guy's house, and definitely no late night visits. It's just something about the night. If you invite a guy over to your house, only do so when others are home. I would not take a guy up on his offer to drive to a secluded lot so you can talk. I don't agree with online dating for young people. You have too many functions and activities where you can meet people. But if the two of you have met online, only meet him in a public place and bring a few friends along. Another potentially dangerous situation: alcohol. If you set out to drink until you get drunk, why? Have you ever considered that your drinking is due to depression? Do you thoroughly understand the dangers or unlawful situations you can get in due to alcohol? No matter how much you think you can hold your liquor, alcohol decreases your ability to make smart decisions, and the same goes for him. There have been incidents where a girl woke up after a night of drinking and felt as if someone had sex with her. Don't get me wrong here. I am not saying that in her situation she was not violated. I just want to point out the dangers of drinking. If you can't remember if you gave consent or not, it is possible the guy you're with doesn't remember either. It's also possible that he didn't know or realize how drunk you were. Indirect consent can be tricky. The consequences of drunk sex can include shame and unwanted pregnancy for her, whereas the guy may feel guilty or end up in prison. Avoid these situations. Don't drink, or at least limit yourself to only one. Another sad reality is that there are people who are sinister enough to drug your drink with a date rape drug. This drug is colorless, tasteless, and odorless, so it can be slipped into a drink without being detected, and you'll have the appearance of being drunk. These drugs are extremely potent and can take effect quickly. This is how a guy can take advantage of you, and sometimes the perpetrator can be the last person you would expect. If you're out drinking, always keep an eye and a hand on your drink. Don't accept or drink something that a person just brings to you. If you walk away from your drink for any reason, just ditch that drink altogether. Things to remember: if you ever feel someone has slipped something into your drink, seek emergency help immediately. If you have been violated, the pain doesn't go away by not talking about it. Ask your school counselor or church minister for a number or someone you can discuss your experiences with, or talk with a trusted adult. Drowning your sorrow with alcohol or drugs, lashing out at other people, or sleeping with a bunch of different guys to feel better won't work. These actions will only make the situation worse. You don't have to let what someone else did to you destroy your life. You can beat this. I know you can. While we're on the subject of partying, you don't want to make it a habit of going out alone. Women are safer in numbers. That's why women go to the ladies' room in pairs, so that we can look out for each other. Also, when you do go out with your girlfriends to a party, you need to leave with your girlfriends. It's irresponsible to meet a guy at a party and leave with him, putting both you and the friend you left behind at risk. Besides putting yourself in a dangerous situation, why make a guy think you're such an easy pickup? There is no connection so deep as to justify leaving with him that night. Let him put some work into getting to know you. You're worth it. In my book, On the Verge of Sex, I address these same topics and provide pages for you to journal. Please join me for the next episode. Beware of trifling.